An hour. Monday night, mostly cloudy. Rain showers likely and a chance of water over roadways. At 8 a.m. PDT. Winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. Gusts up to 30 miles an hour in the afternoon. Monday night, mostly cloudy. Lows around 61. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts up to 25 miles an hour until midnight. Tuesday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming partly cloudy. High 65 to 75. West winds up to 10 miles an hour. For eastbound travelers, the forecast for Tahoe Basin today, cloudy. A chance of rain showers until late afternoon, then a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs 55 to 65. East winds up to 15 miles an hour. Tonight, rain showers likely until midnight, then rain showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms after midnight. Lows 42 to 52. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, shifting to the north after midnight. Gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Monday, rain showers in the morning, then rain showers and a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon.
www.weather.gov/safety/flood. Hurricane local statement for the following areas in California: Apple and Lucerne Valleys, Coachella Valley, Orange County Coastal, Orange County Inland, Riverside County Mountains, San Bernardino and Riverside County Valleys, the Inland Empire, San Bernardino County Mountains, San Diego County Coastal Areas, San Diego County Deserts, San Diego County Mountains, San Diego County Valleys, San Gorgonio Pass near Banning and Santa Ana Mountains and foothills. Catastrophic and life-threatening flooding likely over Baja California and the southwestern U/South. Through Monday's situation overview. Hurricane Hilary is expected to reach Southern California at tropical storm strength today. Flash flooding can be expected across the whole region, with rare and dangerous flooding expected across the mountains and deserts. Strong, tropical storm force winds are expected today. Gusty easterly winds ahead of weakening Hurricane Hilary could impact the Southern California Bight and exposed locations on Catalina Island today. Gusty east to northeast winds of 20 to 30 knots with higher gusts and choppy seas of 3 to 5 feet will likely develop over the intercoastal waters, mainly from the Channel Islands southward. These winds will especially affect nearshore areas from Ventura to Santa Monica, including Santa Cruz and Anacapa Islands. These winds also have the potential to move through the San Pedro.
This is a very, very dangerous and significant storm. Heavy rainfalls, strong winds associated with this storm began today already and will be felt. This is a very, very dangerous and significant storm. Heavy rainfalls, strong winds associated with this storm began today already and will be felt well beyond the center of the storm entering California. This is a very, very dangerous and significant storm. Heavy rainfalls, strong winds associated with this storm began today already and will be felt well beyond the center of the storm entering California.
Ellen Motoy, Deputy Commander of the U.S. Coast Guard Sector, San Diego. I want to thank you for hosting us here today. Rear Admiral Brad Rosen, Commander of Navy Region Southwest. Eric Dargan, City of San Diego's Chief Operating Officer. Chris Heiser, the Executive Director of the City's Office of Emergency Services. Police Chief David Nislite, Assistant Fire Chief Dave Graboth, and Lifeguard Chief James Garland. We're here at the U.S. Coast Guard San Diego sector to share an update on Hurricane Hilary, preparations in our region by the city, the Coast Guard, the Navy, and others. This, of course, is a storm that is expected to arrive in our region early in the new day, tomorrow. I have been briefed earlier today by meteorologists about the storm's trajectory. We are told that the storm is moving faster than yesterday and it will have rain starting tonight. with the most intense portion of that rain and high winds coming tomorrow afternoon. Our Emergency Services Director will have an up-to-the-minute information on all of this and will be speaking in more detail on the storm shortly. As of right now, what we know for certain is that there will be sustained high winds of up to 50 miles per hour, and that there will be enough rain to flood low-lying areas like Mission Valley and the Tijuana River Valley. We have first responders positioned to address emergencies that may occur because of this flooding, but I ask people to avoid areas that are known to be flood zones. Do not drive through standing water on any street that may be flooded. It is often the case that these flooded areas are far deeper than they appear, and your poor choice to enter those areas may require the use of limited public safety resources that we'd like to devote elsewhere. Crews from the city's storm patrol will be actively monitoring areas throughout the city and responding to incidences such as temporary flooding, downed trees, and branches. We now have a storm-specific page on our city website, sandiego.gov, where you can receive real-time updates throughout this event. That site, again, is sandiego.gov/storm. This is where you should go to know what city services are impacted and when you might expect them to resume. Now, it's important for you to take action today to prepare for the significant rain expected tomorrow. I would ask San Diegans to take precautions such as clearing your gutters of leaves and other debris that may have accumulated, and to make sure the storm drains near your home or your property are clear of trash, leaves, and other debris. This will help us to prevent the kind of flooding that we are anticipating because of the high amount of water that's anticipated to come because of the storm. The city has distributed thousands of sandbags across the city. A list of recreation centers where those sandbags are available is on that website that I mentioned just a moment ago. I want to thank the San Diegans who have come forward to get those sandbags. I know in some locations we may have run out of a few. We're currently procuring more to make sure that needs are met and addressed. For our unsheltered population, the city's Homelessness Strategies and Solutions Department, as well as the San Diego Housing Commission, have activated our inclement weather shelter system. We have an additional 192 shelter beds available at 4 locations for people to come off the streets tonight and through the remainder of this storm. I strongly advise that they do so. 146 people from the 20th and B Safe Sleeping Site have been temporarily relocated to the Golden Hall earlier this morning. And the city's outreach teams and our various community partners continue to warn individuals of the risk posed by this storm and encourage them to accept shelter. We continue to ask people to shelter in place during the storm. Tomorrow is going to be a perfect day for you to stay at home and enjoy the company of your relatives, your friends, family, and your pets. Please prepare for tomorrow by making sure that your phone and other essential devices are fully charged in case the power goes out. I also recommend folks take precautions to make sure the batteries in your flashlights and, again, other essential equipment are powered and working. We do anticipate power outages to happen due to the high winds across our county. And so, again, these kinds of precautions will be necessary and I think helpful to you as we get through the storm. We, again, encourage people to please stay indoors and avoid any unnecessary travel, again, particularly tomorrow. As always, if there's a life-threatening emergency, we ask that you please call 911. Finally, I want to say rest assured that our city crews and first responders are ready to respond to the impacts and emergencies that will come, and we appreciate you doing your part to make sure that we can all stay safe together. I also like to share that I just left a meeting with our governor, Gavin Newsom. He is here in San Diego. He paid a visit to our Emergency Operations Center just over an hour ago. He assured me that the state of California is watching and monitoring the storm closely, and that the full weight of our state government will be here to support our city before, during, and after this event. I want to express to the governor the sincere appreciation of the city of San Diego for his active engagement in this matter. I know that it will make a difference both in the lead up to this event and in the days after. Now I'd like to hand it over to our Executive Director of our Office of Emergency Services, Chris Heiser, to provide the latest on the storm and what we can all expect. Chris?
Good afternoon. It's important you understand that we've been following the storm for a number of days, and it's progressing as expected. This reinforces the fact that we do have a tropical storm that will hit San Diego tomorrow afternoon, with the projected eye of the storm somewhere between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. We're anticipating the rains to pick up lightly tonight, light showers, progress into Sunday. Then as the storm moves through, we'll have heavy rains first, followed by the strong winds. The wind projections remain somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 miles per hour sustained in the city of San Diego, up to 70 miles per hour in the mountains. Along with this, we will have strong coastal surge or surge up and high surf. So I need to emphasize, this is a large storm with a huge footprint, unlike what we usually see in San Diego. Normally we're used to small pockets that kind of bounce around. That's not the case. It's already pouring rain out into the desert and east of us. So it will come and it will have the impact that's projected. Anticipate heavy rains, and the rains will not be absorbed like we normally expect. So this will exaggerate or intensify the flooding that we anticipate. So as has been mentioned, this is not something to go out in. It's not some time to go to the beach. Change your plans, adjust what you're doing, stay indoors, and minimize your impact. I'll be followed by Commander Moitori.
Good afternoon, all. It's good to have you here. I'm Commander Ellen Motoy, Deputy Sector Commander of Coast Guard San Diego. So the Coast Guard has been very proactive in preparing for this storm. We've been closely coordinating with all of our federal, state, and local partners. So it's been a very strong interagency approach on many levels to ensure that our community, boating public, and the port are prepared for this hurricane. So we continue to operate and plan at an elevated posture, especially because we are cognizant that these storms can be unpredictable. And like as already said, this is a very rare storm occurrence in this area, in this part of the country, and so we're taking it very seriously. We've done a lot of outreach to the port and port partners and the community. And I'd like to share just some quick messages. Number one, stay off the water. Listen to the weather warnings and advisories. It's not the time to go out. Even if you're the most experienced mariner or swimmer, just don't go out. It's not worth it. Number two, secure your belongings and vessels. So hopefully boat owners have their vessels either trailered or in a safe, protected area. And if you're going to leave your boat in the water, please remove any emergency signals and secure your life rings. The Coast Guard does not want to respond to any false alerts, and we want to use our aircraft and resources to respond to people who are in actual need. And number three, evacuate as necessary. If mandatory evacuations occur for an area, the public is encouraged and should evacuate without delay. The Coast Guard personnel, we may not be unable to evacuate or rescue those endangered during the storm. So Coast Guard, our priority is the safety of life at sea, but with this storm and the current weather forecast, there is potential for an increase in search and rescue operations inland, and we stand ready to support our port partners during the storm and after. So thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce Admiral Rosen from United States Navy, Southwest Region.
Thank you, Commander. I'm Rear Admiral Brad Rosen, the Commander of Navy Region Southwest. I have responsibility of for the Navy bases in the 6 states that make up the Southwest United States, including the 3 bases here in Metro San Diego. As many of you are tracking, the Commander of U.S. 3rd Fleet issued the order to execute a fleet sortie from San Diego bases earlier this morning, and that operation is currently underway at Naval Base Coronado, Naval Base San Diego, and Naval Base Point Loma. As the Region Commander, my primary focus is the safety and well-being of the 183,000 Department of the Navy sailors, civilians, and their families who reside throughout Metro San Diego. We are also preparing to execute any relief efforts to our civilian authority counterparts if called upon to do so. While this weather pattern is unique to Southern California and Metro San Diego, we as a Navy have a significant experience executing these type of operations on the East Coast, and we are drawing on that experience here in Metro San Diego, and I'm confident that we're going to be able to execute these operations safely and without any significant concern. So I look forward to working with our community partners, and I thank you all for being here today.
Thank you, Admiral Rosen and Commander Motoy, Chief Heiser. We obviously have also our police chief, our lifeguard chief, our assistant fire chief, and our chief operating officer here available to answer any questions folks might have. So happy to throw it open to field anything that's on folks' mind. UT. So for the benefit of folks who may not be able to hear the question, it's about homeless encampment on 17th Street, and I'm assuming East Village, downtown San Diego. Individuals sounding as though they're unaware of the storm event that's coming. Yeah. Questioners asking, Phil from the UT is saying that folks are aware of the storm coming, but they don't want to leave. Sadly, in our experience, that is often the case. That's a part of why we're here today, to communicate not just to unsheltered folks on 17th Street, but really every San Diegan. This is serious. You should take it serious, and you should take precautions now to avoid worse outcomes tomorrow. As I mentioned, we have activated our inclement shelter system in order to provide additional capacity for those folks that you're talking about to be able to come.
Right now, it looks like Mayor Bass is standing there alongside other officials and will be set to speak in just a few seconds. We're going to take a listen in as she approaches the podium there to speak at any minute now. Let's take a quick listen.
Bass, thank you all for being here for an update as the storm approaches. First, we're going to hear from Mayor Karen Bass. Following that, we'll hear from Chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department, Kristen Crowley. Following that, we'll hear from David Ortiz, Public Information Officer for the Los Angeles Fire Department. Those remarks are going to be provided in Spanish. After that, we'll hear from Chief Moore of the Los Angeles Police Department. Following that, we'll hear from Assistant Chief Labrada, who will provide remarks in Spanish. After that, we'll hear from Ara Garcia, President of the Board of Public Works. Following that, we'll hear from Marty Adams, General Manager and Chief Engineer of LADWP. And wrapping up will be Carol Parks, who's the General Manager of EMD. I announced it before, but we will be providing another update after this press conference at 4 p.m. After all of the speeches, we'll take questions from the right. Just a reminder to identify yourself by name and publication. And with that, Mayor Bass.
Thank you all for being here this morning. Over the past few days, the city family has been working around the clock to prepare for the storm, and we are just beginning to see it hit Los Angeles. Our message today is clear: stay safe, stay home, and stay informed. This is an unprecedented weather event, but Los Angeles has deep experience responding to crisis. Whether it be wildfire or earthquakes, the city is prepared. A lot of work has already been done to prepare, and there are a few critical areas of focus. Our primary mission, of course, is to protect the life and property of Angelenos. Second, we need to keep our city workers safe. Third, we must ensure that city services are operating as best as possible given the circumstances. Last night, Chief Crowley, who is the incident commander, activated the Emergency Operations Center to level 2. It was very important that we started in-person preparation last night so that this morning we were already in action. Last night I also signed a declaration of local emergency to immediately activate the Emergency Operations Organization and waive any regulation that may inhibit the saving of lives here in Los Angeles. I want to thank President Biden and Vice President Harris, as well as Governor Newsom, for their support in preparation and their pledges to support with recovery as needed. Right now, again, it is critical that Angelenos stay safe and stay home unless otherwise directed by safety officials. Avoid unnecessary travel. If you do not need to be on the road, please don't get in your car. Make sure your emergency kit and essential devices are on hand, and ensure that all of your devices are charged. In the event of life-threatening emergency, Angelenos should call 911. For impacts like roadway flooding, tree limbs blocking roads, or mudslides, Angelenos should request service online or by calling 311. In the event of power outages or water main breakage, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power customers can call 1-800-DIAL, D-I-A-L, DWP. If you see downed power lines or wires, please do not approach them. The water surrounding the wires could cause serious damage, serious injury, or death. Just to reiterate one last time, stay safe, stay home, and stay informed. A brief message from our superintendent of LA Unified School Districts, Alberto Cavallo. An assessment will be made later today as to whether schools will be opened or closed tomorrow. Like I said on Friday, our emergency departments are unparalleled. So when an unprecedented disaster hits, please, Angelenos, know that we are ready. Thank you, and I now want to turn this over to our chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department, Chief Crowley.
Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I'll introduce myself, Kristen Crowley, the Fire Chief, Los Angeles City Fire Department. I'd like to begin by providing everyone an update on our tropical storm, Hilary. Fortunately, the storm has weakened to a Category 1 hurricane with a maximum winds of at least 80 miles per hour. It is expected to downgrade further and make landfall as a tropical storm. The total of 1.5 to 3 inches of rain is forecasted for the Los Angeles area. The expected wind speeds are to be moderate at 20 to 30 miles an hour. Rain is forecast to begin earlier than expected, and as you can see, if you look outside, it's here. The Antelope Valley and San Gabriel Mountain areas outside of the city of Los Angeles are expected to see the largest impacts with 3 to 7 inches of rain. Santa Ana-like conditions with northeasterly winds, particularly in the mountain areas, are likely. Santa Ana corridors will have higher chance of seeing sustained winds up to 40 miles an hour with gusts up to 50 miles an hour in the mountain areas. Now, this storm is expected to have significant impacts within the area, which will include flash flooding, coastal flooding, as well as erosion, dangerous rip currents and high seas, damage to porches, awnings, carports, sheds, and unanchored mobile homes, damage to large trees, damage to fencing and roadway signs. Roads may become impassable from debris. Hazardous driving conditions on bridges and other elevated roadways, scattered power lines and communication outages, and here's some helpful definitions as well as additional information. Tropical storm watch. Sustained winds of 39 to 73 miles an hour are possible within the specified areas within 48 hours in association of a tropical and subtropical or post-tropical cyclone. Tropical storm warning. Sustained winds of 39 to 73 miles an hour are expected somewhere within the specified areas within 36 hours in association with tropical, subtropical, or post-tropical cyclone. And a flash flood warning. Flash flood warning is issued when a flash flood is imminent or occurring. If you are in a flood-prone area, move immediately to high ground. A flash flood is a sudden violent flood that can take from minutes to hours to develop. And it is even possible to experience a flash flood in areas not immediately receiving rain. I'd like to shift my comments now to your LAFD and what is our path forward. I want to make sure that the community understands that your LAFD remains ready. We have been preparing for this moment, and this moment is now. We have proactively staffed and augmented additional resources throughout the city They have been strategically pre-deployed within the city to ensure, first and foremost, your safety, and we want to focus and will continue to focus on reducing risk. We have staffed additional fire engines, brush patrols, all Type 3 OES engines which have a four-wheel drive capability. We have 3 swiftwater teams with 4 certified members on each team, as well as a fully staffed 16-person OES Type 1 swiftwater team. Our specialized heavy equipment operators and dozer crews are available to be deployed. We have fully staffed all urban search and rescue apparatus that are located throughout the city. Our wildland hand crew has been mobilized with 4 community emergency response teams available as well. Additional helicopters, pilots, and crew are on the standby. Command teams are deployed and ready to respond. And lastly, our additional 911 dispatchers are in place to address the additional 911 community needs. Additionally, the LAFD has specifically trained Urban Search and Rescue California Task Force 1. It's one of 28 FEMA teams that are located strategically throughout the nation, and we have one here in the city ready to respond. They have experience at Hurricanes Katrina, Harvey, and Irma. Now lastly, our top line message is that all Angelenos should stay safe and stay informed. Visit LAFD.org for more information and sign up for the LAFD alerts at LAFD.org/alert. And also visit notifyla.org. Lastly, avoid any unnecessary travel to decrease your risk. If you have to drive, please avoid flooded areas, and if you come across downed wires, consider them energized. Think that they are energized, do not touch them, and call for the professionals to help. They are potentially legal, as we know. And remember, together we can and we will absolutely get through this. We are here to serve you. We're honored to be here. And next, I would like to invite up Firefighter David Ortiz to cover these points in Spanish. Thank you.
Remain alert, reporting events in locations not located